Okay, so as I've said before, not good with technology, but here we are. So I want to show you these videos to show you what we're about to be doing um, in class, but I don't know how to make it like full screen, and then you can see me at the same time. So technology, me, we don't mix together well. So bear with me, I'm trying my best. So last week we learned about classifiers and hand shapes and types, and I gave you that handout, those papers with all the different hand shapes on them. You want to keep that and use that. It's a great resource to see like the different hand shapes. But let's just go over the 8 types really fast. We have ICL, which is an instrumental classifier, shows like how something works. Descriptive classifiers, DCL, describes what something looks like. BCL is a body classifier, shows what your body is actually doing. BPCL, body part, so your hands become another part of your body. LCL, locative, so in relationship to something else, where is it? SCL, how something or someone moves. ECL, elements, so wind, rain, snow, fire, smoke, water, anything. And then PCL is 8, and that is a plural, so how many specific or how many not specific, just shows many of something. So those are our 8 types. But for this project, your 50 points project is an ABC story. So I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. If you're using classifiers in natural conversation, you have to say what you're talking about first. It's a car, it's a truck, it's a van, and then use this. Okay? It's a person. Who is that person? And then when you're finished with that, show them. Yes. But when we're being creative and using stories, we don't necessarily need to follow that rule. Okay? Because we're being creative within the language. Okay? So we're going to make ABC stories. So basically, you're going to tell a story from A through Z. A through Z is going to be your hand shapes. In order, you're going to use it to be very visual and tell a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end that makes sense. So we have to be very visual and very creative. So first, I posted this video last week for you guys to watch. I wanted to see if you understood it. It's using just classifiers. They're not using that rule where we have to, in conversation, say what it is first and then describe. They're just using classifiers the whole time. This is technically called a one-hand shape story. I think they're a little bit harder than the ABC story, personally. Maybe not for some. So our one-hand shape story is in 2 weeks from now. So we're going to watch this to see if you understand it or understood it when you watched it when I posted it. And I'm going to voice over so you can see. So she's using the 5-hand shape the whole time. And then we'll move into our ABC stories, and then we'll go on to Zoom and we'll practice together, okay? So here, I know it's small. I'm so sorry. She's using this 5-hand shape. Let's see. So her 5-hand shape. So she's sitting, she's bored. What are we going to do? Hey, do you guys want to go to a movie? We'll get together, the 5 of us. We all move together, like that conjugated verb, to the movie. They're in line, they're waiting. Line gets smaller and smaller. Finally, it's their turn. How much? $5. Fine. Take it out of my pocket, hand it over. Hey, do you guys want popcorn? Fine. They grab the popcorn. They're eating it. They open the door. There's all the seats and the big screen. Sit down. You're eating popcorn. She looks over. She sees 2 people making out. So instead of watching the movie, she starts looking at them. They notice it. Smack her. She spills her popcorn. She's annoyed. Picks it up. Sets it down. Continues to watch the movie, and there's like fire and action and things exploding and lights, and it just ended. What? $5 for that? Whatever. And then the group of them leave. So, in this story, though she's using classifiers most of the time, she does use some actual signs like wait and want and movie and like this like stadium or arena like where you would sit. So she uses both classifiers and signs that have and hold that same hand shape. So keep that in mind. I hope, like, even if you didn't understand all of it, I hope that you did understand most of it, just because it is such a visual story. So that's our first example from the book. Our second example from the book is Defula. And as you can imagine, Defula is like Dracula the vampire, but for deaf people. Change the story. So it's cute, it's creative. So we're gonna watch it, see if you understand it yourself. He's using hand shapes A through Z in order. Okay, so watch it and then I'll go over it the second time. So the topic is Defula. Okay, so it's cute, it's silly, it's a story, whatever. So we start with A, and I'm going to try to call out the letters and then say what they mean, but sometimes, like when interpreting that, I'm saying too much for how fast he's going, so I'm going to try my best. So the topic, Defula. So he's walking with his backpack, letter A. B, the landscape, horizon's flat. He sees a building over there. He notices that there's lightning. So E, he starts running. It's like dong, 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 like a bell. So like maybe like a church. He opens it up. He starts imagining things. Well, then he hears something like coming over to him, like stepping. He freaks out. He looks. It's like a bat with like fangs. And his eyes get wide. His knees are shaking. It comes walking over to him. R, it's drooling. So he puts up his S fist and his legs are shaking. It attacks, hits him in the neck. W, oh my God, what's wrong? Oh my God, I'm deaf. Or deaf, and then ha, and now he's Defula. Sorry, didn't call the letters very well. But he uses them in order. You have to be creative. They can match your body movements and stuff. The biggest issue I see is that students want to use signs that you know. So like you'll, instead of saying like teacher, maybe like whatever letter you're on, you want to like sign like teacher. Well, you can't use that for V. That's like an actual sign. What does V look like? Maybe the teacher walking over to you, but not the teacher. So you want to make sure you're more visual than trying to use that letter into other signs. That's not what we're doing. Okay? We're painting a picture, a beautiful picture. So that's Defula. Feel free to watch it again. It will definitely help you. And then it's also in your book. You have this DVD. Now, this is one of my favorite ABC stories. It's very creative. It's so cute. It's so visual. And it's about the Titanic. So we'll start it here. Again, watch it and then I'll voice over. So his name is Patrick Fisher. Sign name. And his story is about what? An ABC story, A through Z. And the title is Titanic. So pay attention to the hand shapes because that's what's so fascinating about it is he sticks with them in order and tells a full story beginning to end that has substance to it. But also what's really, really cool about classifiers, I know I say cool a lot when I'm talking about classifiers, but the perspective changes the whole time. You can become someone and then you become something and you're going in and out of perspectives. Whereas like I could be first person, like, my body's falling, and then out to like third person visualizing like from an outside perspective my own body moving again. So it's super neat. Said neat, not cool. Okay, so here's the Titanic again. Introducing himself. Okay. Titanic. So he's representing the ship. The dock comes down, whatever that's called. He helps people carry up their bags. They're all walking on boarding the ship. That's a C. D, people walking up. E, the dock thing closes. Then F, the smoke stacks, and like as it's moving, the smoke goes back, so an element classifier. And then as something moves and gets farther away, it gets smaller, so it's showing that it's leaving shore. Then he traces the front of the ship, so like and how it rocks. So use your body, use your non-manual markers. So now he becomes people on the ship drinking tea and talking to each other, like flirting. And so then the boy adjusts his bow tie, and next thing you know, he like has her waist, and she's leaning out in front of the ship. She looks down and she sees dolphins jumping through the water. Now he's the captain and he's looking out. Obviously sees the iceberg. Radio or walkie-talkies, everyone. And so the ship starts to like rock. He has the steering wheel thing with all the prongs, R, and then S is trying to steer very difficultly to make that turn to not hit the iceberg, but it happens. Is they hit it anyway, and now water is rushing in and filling up the ship. So you can kind of picture the ship, like how it looks with him. X, the ship tilts forward and starts to sink. And then, skipping forward, he talks about then later they go under in a submarine. And they are looking for the ship, and then he uses his Z to like navigate. So really cute. Not cute because it's a sad story, but like the way he represents it is very, very good. So you're going to create an ABC story as well. And so when we get on this Zoom conference, I'm going to break you up into groups, and hopefully you guys can figure out how to like conference each other once I tell you who's in your group. If not, I'm going to give you specific letters that you have to try and figure out different hand shapes for them, what they could represent. There are some like 3, always represents a car. Yes, cool. But we can be more creative and we can think of them ourselves. So you're going to think of what all of the letters can mean. So I'm going to say like, okay, Christian, Kira, Emily, whatever, you guys have letters A through 7. Oh my God. A through Z. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. A through G, and then come up with what they could mean. So A, knocking on a door, and then tab out your classifier types. Make sure you have your notes out with you. Think about each type. Okay, so if we're talking about descriptive classifiers, what can A describe? If we're talking about instrumental classifiers, what can A describe? And then go through all of them that way. Then think of different topics. Sports. Okay, what can I do with an A in a sport? Maybe it could be a ball. Maybe it could be like putting on a helmet, going to the beach, throwing out a towel. So think of different topics, and you're going to try to think of as many different classifiers as you can think of for each letter. And then we're going to share them with each other. So when you create your own stories with your own topics that have a beginning, middle, and end, you can use these as reference. So it's really going to help you if we all work together. All right, so I will see you guys at 7 o'clock.